and trying to get them set up here and trying to connect them with pro-life Democrats here in Washington and around the country that I had met. And it wasn't until 2002 that they decided to open their Washington, D.C. office, and they offered me the job to spearhead that effort. So at that point, we had about 5 state chapters and only a handful of actual pro-life Democrat members. So it's very exciting to see the growth. We have 41 state chapters now, and pro-life Democrats are really beginning to be more vocal as far as really feeling more comfortable to come out and say, I'm a pro-life Democrat, I'm going to support this legislation. Whereas I think prior to our organization being formed, a lot of pro-life Democrats members of Congress have told me that constituents come up to them and whisper, I'm a pro-life Democrat, keep up the good work. And they were sort of afraid to, because even within our party, there was a lot of, criticism about saying, well, you can't be a Democrat because you're pro-life. And it's funny, within the pro-life movement, people would say, well, you can't be pro-life because you're a Democrat. So, pro-life Democrats are in a really tough spot. And that's one of the reasons that we felt that was very important to have this organization to support those pro-life Democrats and really push a more pro-life point of view within our party.
Yeah, now you mentioned how there are so many people who do the whisper campaign saying, listen, keep up the good work. And it kind of goes along right there with the title of your book about how the pro-life politics in the silenced majority. Okay, and in reading a lot of the statistics on your site, that you made a case for pro-life Democrats. And in that, you list off a number of polls. You've got Gallup, you've got Zogby, you've got, I believe, Times polls and different things like the CNN Times or whatever, and polls about the number of individuals in major voting blocks within the Democrat Party that would be pro-life. And explain why then are they silenced? I mean, why then have they allowed themselves to be kind of bullied into a corner?
I think it's been it started after Roe v. Wade. It was sort of this 25-year campaign to really have the Democratic Party be the party of abortion. And I think in 2004 everything hit the fan when it was we were really known as the party of abortion on demand, and we lost a lot of good people in 2004. And because of the strong message that the party was sending that we support abortion and we'll do anything to make sure that we protect that right. But I think that was a turning point for more people to stand up and say, that maybe isn't the right message to be sent. And Democrats for Life, after that election, we really started promoting our 9510 initiative and saying we need to do more to support pregnant women and reduce the abortion rate in America. And it's really encouraging to see the Democratic Party talking more about reducing the abortion rate rather than saying that we need to keep abortion legal.
Which is actually what happened at the Democrat National Convention, if I remember correctly. Even Obama talked about how wanting to reduce the number. You have Hillary Clinton talking about needing to reduce the number.
And a lot of people can say that, but we have to. I mean, one thing that we were very cautious about is saying that, it's good to say that, but we really need to follow up. So, if Senator Obama is elected president, all these people have been talking about reducing the abortion rate. So I think it should be one of the things right on the top of the agenda when we start off in January to have the Pregnant Woman Support Act. Those must-pass bills within the first 100 days.
Oh, absolutely. I talking about people pushing these bills and talking about pro-life Democrats and the kind of this move, at least verbally, to begin acknowledging them. Like you have Senator Casey was actually permitted to speak on the floor. That was quite a bold move. But why don't people hear about the pro-life Democrats who came in 2006? Your site talks about, out of the 32 representatives that come in, 20 of them were pro-life. And of the 9 senators, freshmen, 7 were pro-life.
Well, I think, we're seeing a big change. In 2004, the party didn't support pro-life Democrats. In 2002 and 2000, there wasn't the support there. In 2006, it was the first time that the Democratic Party started to support these pro-life candidates because they saw they were good fits for their district. And by saying that they weren't going to support them because they were pro-life wasn't good political sense. So that's why I think we had those big gains in 2006, and I think we're going to see gains in 2008 as well. There are some really incredible candidates running. Kathy Del Kemper in Pennsylvania, and then we have Jim Esch in Nebraska. So, I mean, we just have some really good candidates running, and we two in Ohio too, neighboring to the south there, Boteri and Driehaus. So, I think we're going to pick up some big some more pro-life Democrats due to the support of the party.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking as you were talking here about what it would take and how to get these individuals known. On your site, do you have a way that people can kind of track who these individuals are and get to know these candidates, see who you endorse? Is there a feature there where they're able to do that?
Right. We have an Act Blue site where we have we list our endorsed candidates.
So you have an entire thing where it talks about that. Now, are you involved? There's the blue. I'm trying to remember the name.
Red to Blue campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, are you also involved with that as well, or in any way affiliated?
Yeah. Well, there are several pro-life Democrats on that list, so those are our endorsed candidates are on that list. So yeah, definitely we are helping and really trying to push for those pro-life Democrats to win. Okay.
One of the questions that I've been asked a lot, and I talk about your organization quite a bit. I talk a lot about the idea of beginning to reconsider using the Democrat Party as a means towards an end. I've been talking about this quite a bit, and a lot of individuals are very cautious, and they say, okay, you say pro-life Democrat. What exactly is a pro-life Democrat? Because to them, they know what a pro-life Republican is. A pro-life Republican, by and large, is someone who would say, well, I'm selectively opposed to medical abortions. They would make various exceptions to medical abortion. They don't really deal too much with contraceptives, various things like that. Right. And so, they, of course, talking about euthanasia, but it's a lot of, well, I want to see it criminalized, and that's kind of the staple for a lot of the more right-wing leaning individuals or Republican-leaning individuals. What exacally is a pro-life Democrat?
Yeah, I think the difference between a pro-life Democrat and a pro-life Republican is, I think a lot of the things are the same, that, they believe that life begins at conception, and conception to natural death, and but I think that also, there's a lot of criticism within the pro-life community that they only care about the baby till it's born. That's different with Democrats. The pro-life Democrats also support WIC funding, and providing a minimum, a livable wage, and things like that will help help families when they do have a pregnancy, give them a better opportunity to carry that pregnancy to term and make a choice for life when they do become pregnant. So I think that's one of the main differences. There's a good story of Congressman Del Kildee, who is from Michigan. He was in a hearing, and there were some pro-life Republicans there who were fighting to cut WIC, the program, which provides funding for women, infants, and children. Also pregnant women and those who are nursing. So it's a nutrition program. And his comment was, you say that you're pro-life, but you can't be if you're trying to cut this program that will help pregnant women carry their babies to term.
Well, absolutely. That's always been something that's kind of startled me, is that, and something I've woken up to in the last couple of years, is that being someone who was raised pro-life, I started to see that my understanding of pro-life was best typified or symbolized in a tombstone. And that it was the birthday and the death date that I focused on, but I ignored the dash. And the dash just so happens to be all of their life. Okay, it's like I cared about euthanasia, and I cared about the beginning, the birthday stuff with being in the womb, whether it's embryonic stem cell research, whether it's contraceptives, whatever it may be. So I was focused on the first date, and I was focused on the last date, but I ignored that ever important dash that is the remainder of their entire life. And it was almost as if my pro-life position had somehow been suspended until they were about to die. and then I took it back on again. But in the meantime, I had found myself not really maintaining a consistent and robust pro-life position, and I really believe that the pro-life position that you've been advocating, I think that is a standard bearer, in my opinion, of what a pro-life movement ought to be.